No, that wasn't for you. He said Padres, so I almost threw it up. But that was good. Slytherins were the best house in Hogwarts. It's true. It's true. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the world famous studio tour. You made it. You're here. Now, if you're looking for the studio tour, it is underneath that giant sign that says Studio Tour. Now, the tour is about 45 minutes or an hour long, so meet the restrooms are off to your right-hand side. And folks, you are more than welcome to eat, drink, and drink on the tour. So if you want to get yourself a gelato, Venmo, Bud Light, Corona, take it with you on the tram, live your best life. Hi guys, welcome. I'm doing great. I'm sitting down and considering. Yeah, this is what the kids caught children, right? Welcome, folks, to the world famous studio tour. Welcome. You made it here. Oh, you got a donut, the dream. What else do you want? We're at Universal Studios. You got a donut. Look, these. We got alcoholic beverages over here. I remember hearing this. No need to chug them. Unless you want to chug them, and then buy another beer and take that on the tram with you. Yeah, they're going to treat yourself.
About 45 minutes to an hour, but hey, say goodbye to those folks and say hello to your driver extraordinaire, the man, the myth, the legend, who's literally going to get our show on the road. Otherwise, it's a very, very long walk. Please give it up for your driver of the tour, Sage. How you doing, Sage? Sweet. And of course, I'm going to be your tour guide today. My name is Austin. Everyone say hi, Austin. I love it. And rounding out our crew, we have a special co-host for y'all. You may recognize this gentleman from weeknights on NBC. He's the host of That's My Jam and The Tonight Show. Everyone, exclamation point. But that is not a set. That is the real deal. Those trucks inside, the real thing. And the men and women who drive them, the real heroes who protect us every single day out here on the back lot. But when in use, those sirens can get really loud, which can be very difficult for filmmaking. But lucky for us, we got something called a soundstage. What's a soundstage? Giant box-shaped buildings. You're going to see a few in just a second, but up on your screens, here are a few movies that were filmed inside of sound stages, from Frankenstein to Dracula.
Beautiful mind.
And everyone's favorite children's movie, Scarface. All of these movie moments are seen on your screen, filmed in the exact same spot, if you can believe it. And that spot is over here to your left, inside a Soundstage 12. That big voice logo on there on the side, because that is where NBC's The Voice used to film, but due to all the construction around this area, they've actually moved to a different soundstage. But inside of Soundstage 12, you saw it up on your screen. It was the Discovery Center from Jurassic Park, the top of the clock tower from Back to the Future. It was also the entire town of Whoville from How the Grinch Stole Christmas, one of the largest sets ever constructed in Universal history. And that's what's perfect about these sound stages. If you take a look at your screens, you'll see Soundstage 12 on its off days. Looks like a giant empty Apollo 13, the Mission Control Center, built inside of that soundstage as well. You also got scenes from the original Jurassic Park where the kids are up in the trees meeting the Brachiosauruses. Even the other scene where they're they're running out of or climbing out of the tree rather, when that Jeep is crashing down the branches right in front of them. All of these films filmed inside of that same soundstage that you're seeing up on your screen. Again, the versatility cannot be understated. And thanks to practical effects, weather effects, and lighting effects, we can turn the insides of these sound stages into any time of day, any day of the year, any year throughout history. And speaking of history, television history, some of my favorite sitcoms of all time filmed inside of these sound stages to your right. We're talking One Day at a Time, Sabrina the Teenage Witch with Melissa Joan Hart, Different Strokes with Conrad Bain and Gary Coleman. More recently, we had a TV series filming in these sound stages called Rutherford Falls, starring Ed Helms from The Office and Janice Schmiede. Also, The Good Place, one of my new favorite series. I know I'm a little late to the party, but I only just watched it. It's fantastic. And The Good Place stars Kristen Bell, Ted Danson, and William Jackson Harper. And The Good Place, 4 seasons of that show filmed inside of Soundstage 19, right over here to your right-hand side. Ted Danson would also return to this soundstage for a series called Mr. Bear alongside Holly Hunter and Bobby Moynihan from SNL. Now, there are no Ted Dansons today, but there is a Ted Drinkin over there to your left. What's up, Theodore Cleverlane? Thunder Buddies for life, buddy. He's actually celebrating the fact that he's going to be the star of a brand new prequel series premiering on the Peacock streaming service based on Ted and Ted 2. Takes place in 1993 when Ted and his Thunder Buddy for life are going through the trials and tribulations of high school together. But before you can get to filming, you first got to cast your actors. You got to scout out your locations, and most importantly, you have to write a script. Always support your local writers, friends. Most important process of the entire filmmaking process. And over here to your left-hand side, we got these offices where writing, casting actors, and scout locations are done. All that pre-production work inside of these offices here. You got $7 Productions on some of those parking stalls. That is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's production company. We're actually hitting action movies like Hobbs and Shaw, Rampage, and the recent Black Adam. Those are their offices right behind there. Up ahead down this road to the left, you see that sign that says MP right next to that Wicked globe. That is Mark Platt Productions. He brought you movies like Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, La La Land, and he's currently working on a 2-part film adaptation of the hit Broadway musical Wicked, starring Tony Award winner Cynthia Erivo and Queen of Pop herself, Ariana Grande. Now, Ariana Grande, no stranger to the Universal backlot. Back in 2016, she was out here filming an event called Hairspray Live for NBC. In that show, she starred alongside EGOT winner Jennifer Hudson, as well as Kristen Chenoweth, Dove Cameron, Martin Short, Harvey Firestein. And they filmed Hairspray Live inside of these sound stages to your left. They're interior scenes, again, the scenes that took place indoors. And once Hairspray wrapped up, well, you just couldn't stop the beat. J-Lo's World of Dance competition found its way inside of these sound stages, followed by some finale seasons of Will and Grace. And currently, we have funny man George Lopez and his daughter Mayan Lopez filming season 1 of Lopez vs. Lopez inside of this soundstage right over here to your left. Now, Hairspray Live, the key word is live. So during commercial breaks, the cast and crew would find themselves running back and forth between their sets inside the soundstage to your left and across the street into our large-scale metropolitan sets that were dressed up to look like a 1960s Baltimore. Plenty of stuff filmed out here on these sets and our metropolitan sets, and here's just one quick example up here on your screens from Bruce Almighty. Check it out. Brace the dog!
I'm in the shower!
It's like that. Outside. It's like that.
Those brownstone streets? It's right over there to your right-hand side. In fact, not only home to Jim Carrey and Bruce Almighty, but also Mindy Kaling from the Mindy Project lived inside one of those townhomes. Ben Affleck and Rosamund Pike at the beginning of Gone Girl. They're moving out of their midtown apartment. It's that one right over there. And Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, throwing bricks down at the Sticky Bandits. It's from that rooftop right over there. But from Midtown, we're going to go to Small Town, perhaps one of the most iconic sets here on the Universal backlot. If you're fans of the Back to the Future film franchise, get your camera set to 1.21 gigawatts. Welcome to Hill Valley, California, for the Back to the Future film franchise. Directed by Robert Zemeckis, starring Christopher Lloyd and Michael J. Fox. Executive produced by Steven Spielberg. Now, these streets here, long before Back to the Future filmed out here. These sets were built back in 1948 for a film called An Act of Murder. And The Twilight Zone, the very first episode, the pilot episode, titled Where Is Everybody?, filmed right out here on the streets of our courthouse square. The lone pilot crash lands into a small town, wanders around, and asks himself that very question, where is everybody? Also, the set can be seen in 1962's To Kill a Mockingbird, one of my personal favorites. Atticus Finch, played by Gregory Peck in that film. When he took on the role of Atticus Finch, Harper Lee, who was the author of the original book, To Kill a Mockingbird, actually gave him a stopwatch that belonged to her father. Her father is the one who she based the character of Atticus Finch on it. She thought, if you have this watch, maybe it'll improve your performance. And it worked. It worked overtime. So much so, Gregory Peck would go on to win an Oscar for his performance, but perhaps his most treasured accolade was when he went to return that stopwatch to Harper Lee. She was so blown away by his performance, she was like, nah, you hold on to that. That belongs to you. You fully embodied that character. Great, great job. But from Small Town, welcome to the quietest New York City street you have ever seen. Perfectly used for your big action movies like Transformers with Michael Bay, big buildings here blown to smithereens, but you wouldn't know it because the golden rule out here on the Universal backlot is you leave things the way you find them, a blank slate ready for that next production. Other action movies that filmed out here include Hobbs and Shaw, big motorcycle chase scene took place here. Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, the scene when he's surrounded by the cops and they're threatening to pull off his mask, filmed right here on the street. Captain America, the first Avenger, when he's chasing after that Hydra agent after being injected with the super soldier serum. He's running down this street here. Over here to your left-hand side, you got the Lyric Theater. That is where Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man was running late for Mary Jane's play. She was The Importance of Being Earnest in Spider-Man 2. And he's turned away by the Chin himself, Mr. Bruce Campbell. But my friends, I was just scratching the surface of the history that our metropolitan sets have provided us over the years. But for now, we're going to exit out of the urban jungles, head straight to the lush jungles of Skull Island. And look who's here to greet us, director Peter Jackson himself.
It's the original King Kong. Many people I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old, and I wanted to become a filmmaker. So I like films that just take you away from real life. Sweep you up the edge. Kong literally does that. You're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from prehistoric times. Now we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, but just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island.
That's right, and as we make our return, heads up, it can get a little bumpy out there, so hold on to all your loose articles. Take as many photos and as videos as you like, but no flash photography, please and thank you. Well, it looks like we're just about ready to get underway. And we have to wait for the director to give us the cue to put on those 3D glasses, like the good actors you are, so take them off. Peter Jackson will let you know exactly when the time is right. Here we go, friends.
Okay, glasses on, everybody. We're back on Skull Island. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, King Kong 360 3D! My friends, those 3D glasses you have on, not gonna lie, you look really stylish with them, but take them off for now. You don't need them right now. But do hold on to them, because King Kong 360 3D back there, the second largest 3D experience in the world. What's the first? We'll tell you about that later. But for now, King Kong 360 3D brought to us by those awesome folks over at Weta Effects, a New Zealand-based digital effects company who brought the world of Pandora to life for James Cameron's Avatar film. They're also Oscar award-winning for the work in movies that apply Disney's The Jungle Book, and they practically worked on every single Marvel movie out there in existence, including Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 just came out this last week. Fantastic film. But check this out on your screens. The screens we were just in between, some of the largest out there, 40 feet tall, 180 feet wide. And you may have noticed on one of the screens, our tram car made an appearance on screen. It was pulled on by one of the T-Rexes. Don't you worry, all the people inside that car, entirely fake, but modeled after the real friends and family of the Weta effects artists that worked on King Kong 360 3D. I think Peter Jackson's kids are in there somewhere as well. Yeah, what is Dad trying to say about us? But once that tram car made an appearance on screen,
it became known as a picture car. A picture car is any vehicle that appears on screen, brings your characters from point A to point B. In fact, our very own studio tour vehicle has appeared in many films and TV shows. Check this out on your screens. Try the future film franchise cars, some from the past like Biff's Ford convertible, and some from the near-distant future of 2015. Do we have prehistoric cars, though? We yabba dabba do. Do they work like real cars? They yabba dabba don't. Pulled by cable cars when they were filming the Flintstones. Golf cart bodies for those Flintstone cars. Fiberglass exteriors. Island off the coast of Costa Rica. Maybe you've heard of it?
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Thanks, Grandpa. And what better way to explore the island than in your very own custom-made picture car? Yeah, our very own studio tour vehicle. It's a picture car, and you know what? Let me get the radio going just right. Little J-Dub, set the tone. Oh, yeah, there we go. Friends, on either side of the tramp, you are going to see picture cars, set pieces, and props from the original Jurassic Park trilogy. Up ahead to the right, a boat from Jurassic Park 3, piloted by Sam Neill in the climactic battle against the Spinosaurus. To your right, we're just passing on by that paddock that took the T-Rex from the islands all the way to San Diego in the Lost World Jurassic Park. Also from that movie, this mobile lab unit from the left-hand side, made with the strongest plywood known to humankind. Take a look at some of the corners. You'll see that wood splintering away, some of the paint chipping off. We got some of the best artisans, technicians, and craftspeople in the industry working. Hey! Oh, I'm so sorry. Don't you worry, that's just one of our celebrity families that lives out here on the back lot. You can tell they're a family, they're spitting images of each other. Practical effects like water, you can do those IRL in real life right there on set. Check this out, up on your screens. The Lost World Jurassic Park. That mobile lab unit we just passed on by, it's being pushed up the side of a cliff by Mama T-Rex here. And of course, a lot of tension in the scene already. There's a T-Rex in the scene, for goodness sake. But of course, accented perfectly by the practical rain effects. But right now, we're pulling into our old Mexico set, which you may recognize from movies like Big Fat Liar, The Three Amigos with Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, and Mark Short, Nacho Libre with Jack Black, and even Lady Gaga's music video, Judas. But today, we're using it as a special effects demonstration. You can hear we got strategically placed speakers pumping out thunder sound effects, accompanied by those light strobe effects, and there we are. There's our ray. That water is being brought to you by the letter S. S4 sprinklers, placed up above, overhead, pushing out a heavy water flow, pushing that water straight up into the air, letting gravity take care of the rest, giving it that nice natural look on camera. Now, normal rain, or natural rain if you will, it's a little bit more difficult to capture on camera, so we use a heavier rain flow as well as some unique lighting in front of and behind the water in order to really make it pop on screen. Yeah, okay, what else are you gonna see? So, oh, we can turn it off. You want to turn it off? So, oh, I'm so sorry. They told me they only ran the flood on Thursdays. What do you say we dry off just a little bit, folks? We say adios to old Mexico and pass it through by the streets of our old West sets. Now, our flash flood effect over there, it's our oldest effect on the studio tour. It's our most green-friendly effect. All that water you saw dropped from the top, sent down to the bottom, and recycled right back up to the top, ready for that next studio tour. And it's perhaps our most famous effect. Check it out from Big Fat Liar, starring Paul Giamatti, Frankie Muniz, and Amanda Bynes. Our flash flood effect in effect.
You can't outrun the wolf, kid! Yeah, we'll see about that.
There goes Paul Giamatti. Oh, and there goes Paul Giamatti's stunt double. Now, we are sitting actually on the outside of our drier parts of Old Mexico, if you will. Currently, we would drive down this other road over here, but they're actually using our western streets for some filming today. The New York Film Academy is out here with some of the students, and they're prepping up for some shooting that they're going to be doing over this next weekend. In fact, as we turn the corner here, once this tram passes on by, we're going to turn to the left over here, and on your left-hand side, keep an eye out, because you might see some shots being set up, some equipment laying out. Again, 24/7, 365, there's always something going on around here. And they're using our Old West sets, some of the oldest sets in Hollywood, period. these were built back in the silent filmmaking era, and they were called 6 points. This area was called 6 points because there were 6 distinct Western streets built right next door to each other. That way they could film 6 separate Western movies all at the same time. Because in the early days of Universal, Western movies, they were kind of our bread and butter. We've made literally hundreds of them in the first year of operation alone. But more recently, we've had films like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino with Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt filming right out here. If you've seen that movie, about 30-40 minutes of it takes place right here on the Old West set. But as we turn the corner here, through these trees to the left, I want to point out this lovely body of water. This is called Park Lake. You're going to get a better glimpse of it in just a second. But we also lovingly refer to this area as the Hollywood Ocean, because using our imaginations, this little body of water can stand in for entire oceans. It stood in as the Pacific Ocean for McHale's Navy. If you've seen the movie musical Showboat, you know the song Old Man River? Well, that's the river, the Mississippi River to be more specific. And it was also the Amazon River in a little creature flick, The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Check this out, the SS Rita sailing there beautifully on our Park Lake area, playing the part of the Amazon River. And the creature himself in question, the Creature from the Black Lagoon, part of that elite group of Universal monsters. We're talking Dracula, Frankenstein, the Wolfman, the Bride of Frankenstein, the Invisible Man, and all of those characters got their start right here in the streets of our little Europe sets. But don't you worry, one person's nightmare with the Universal monsters is another person's good place. For 4 seasons of the NBC comedy starring William Jackson Harper, Ted Danson, and Kristen Bell, the streets of little Europe, here were indeed the afterlife.
You, Eleanor Shellstrom, are dead.
Cool.
This location, the afterlife, I have never ever seen this. You're in the good place.
I'm not supposed to be here. Can't risk going to the bad place.
Maybe it's not all that bad.
How can I help you?
What is the bad place like?
Well, it doesn't sound awesome.
What are you talking about, Kristen? Sounds great, but not as awesome as your voice. And if you don't recognize that voice up on your screens, well, let me give you a hint. It's Princess Anna from Cinderella. And in the early 2000s, Princess Mia Thermopolis, played by Anne Hathaway, out here for a Genovian parade right down the streets of our little Europe set. But if princesses aren't your thing, maybe pirates are. Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl. Some scenes where Captain Jack is running away from the Port Royal Redcoats and he ducks inside of Will Turner's blacksmith shop, filmed on the little Europe sets over here. But also scenes on the island of Tortuga in the same movie. Islands apart in the movie, but right around the corner from each other in real life. Movie making magic at its finest. Now, up ahead, we've got ourselves a soundstage, which we may just drive through today. Soundstage 50 right behind me was actually used in an episode of a TV show called Bones, starring David Boreanaz and Emily Deschanel. Check this out on your screens.
Look, they're sweets.
He looks very upset.
When I talked to him, he said the guy died in his arms.
That's with the FBI?
FBI, yeah, we hear about the human remains.
That's him. Right over there.
You alright?
Now, you saw up on your screen that it's a subway station for that scene, and actually that's exactly what Soundstage 50 provides us with, 365, 24/7, an entire subway city sets, or rather a subway set. But up above, this actually is the soundstage here. No worries. This soundstage here is actually 2 stories. Up above there's a city street set, and down below you got that subway station you saw up on your screens here. And that actually provides us the opportunity to do something called a tracking shot, where we follow our character with a handheld camera from point A to point B. But definitely back down this way, you're going to get another glimpse of the backside of our Old West sets. Now take a good look. Some of these buildings here are not fully fleshed out buildings. Some of them you can walk inside, sure, but some of them you walk through the door, guess what? You're still outside. Those are facades, my friend, aka false fronts. Over here to your right-hand side, you're going to see the backside of this brick building. Just over here, you can see the backside. Nothing but plywood and planks holding it up. But from the other side, it looks like a fully fleshed out building right there. We've used facades exclusively for exterior filmmaking because our cameras, they're only going to see the fronts of those buildings, so we only build the fronts of those buildings. Your imagination as the audience, it's going to fill in the rest of the blanks for us. But right now, we're going to make our way up this hill. And you know what? You guys been through some pretty traumatic stuff. Flash floods, King Kong fighting T-Rexes, the streets of Little Europe. But don't you worry, we're going to take a little bit of a load off, head straight over to the beautiful island of Amity, seen from the 1975 film Jaws. In fact, I have a lovely little promotional clip here that they sent to us in case anyone's interested in visiting. Steven Spielberg's first big feature film, at least the first one to be a big hit. His first feature film was Sugarland Express, but in 1975 he released the terrifying terror of Jaws. Now, again, it looks pretty scary on your screen, but don't you worry. Our Amity Island here, completely shark-free. We took care of that problem. Now, this set over here, as you can see, not used for Jaws, the film, but actually used for Cabot Cove and multiple seasons of Murder, She Wrote, starring the late, great Angela Lansbury as Jessica Fletcher. Fantastic show if you haven't seen it. Check it out on the Peacock streaming service. Up ahead to your left, you see the entrance to what we call Elm Street. Not any Elm Street with nightmares, mind you, but actually that gold house with the green roof over there, that is Boo Radley's house from the 1962 film To Kill a Mockingbird. Up ahead to your right-hand side, you're going to see the Chicken Ranch, where one Miss Dolly Parton filmed alongside Burt Reynolds in the 1980s musical comedy, The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. And I know what you're thinking. Austin, can you really say that kind of word on this tour? Yes, I can, and I'm going to say it again. Texas. Now that house over there is a practical set. You can film on the outside as well as on the inside. Used as the Firefly house from Rob Zombie's A House of a Thousand Corpses. Also, Murder, She Wrote. This is Jessica Fletcher's backyard. And right next door, you see yourself a facade set. Again, just one side of that building built out, sitting right next door to that practical set. So when you're inside that practical set, you look out the windows, looks like you got a neighbor next door willing to lend you a cup of sugar, right? And facades, they do the trick perfectly. Up ahead, we're going to drive up what's called the Wilderness Road. And as we do so, take a good look around you. Not a whole lot going on around these parts, but actually, that's what makes it so special. For those of you who drove to Universal Studios today, bless you. LA traffic is a nightmare. And if you want to film a scene that takes place on an empty, desolate road, come right out here to Wilderness Road. Although, I gotta be honest, not a lot of directors like coming out here to Wilderness Road on account of all the dead bodies that have been found around here in the show CSI. We also got a lot of car scenes too. Angela Bassett for the TV series Fox, or for the TV series 911 on Fox rather. They filmed an overturned limousine scene on the side of the road over here to the right. Prom goers hanging in the balance. Over here to the left though, you had another limousine scene for Never Have I Ever Season 4 starring Maitreyi Ramakrishnan, produced by Mindy Kaling. And also to the left, you see this wooded area. Sandra Bullock and her family blindfolded, wandering around looking for a little campsite in the Netflix movie Bird Box. Now let's say we were going to film ourselves an action car scene. Not only are we going to need ourselves a handsome action star, I volunteer, but we're also going to need ourselves the right action car. I mentioned some more picture cars, didn't I? And this time on the right-hand side of the tram. So get your cameras out. We got some Fast and Furious cars here. The most fast and most furious, of course, being Mr. Bean's vacation mobile right over there next to the double-decker bus. Seen from episodes of Arrested Development, that bus. But in the front, you got two Transformers, a Decepticon cruiser named Barricade, right next to the Autobot Bumblebee. Just goes to show you your favorite on-screen enemies in real life. They're some of the best of friends. You also got this classic Charger, one of Dom's from the earlier films. That police car in the back is from Public Enemies, starring Johnny Depp. And you got the piano service car from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? But my friends, if any of you are looking for any last-minute hotel accommodations, well, hey, look no further. Always important to support small family businesses. This one run by a mother and son team. Slashing prices right down the center. I hear the showers are to die for. And hey, there's always 12 cabins and 12 vacancies. Friends, welcome to the Bates Motel. Seen from the 1960 film Psycho, directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Ooh, and speaking of psychos, look at that, there's the proprietor himself, Mr. Norman Bates. Again, any of you looking for last-minute hotel accounts, look no further, but actually looks like he's helping someone else. Oh. No, no, no! Not again! Hey, put the cameras down, have some respect. Actually, no, wait, keep the cameras up. We'll get some evidence, we'll take it to the police, and tell the police that we saw nothing. Hey there, Norman, we don't, okay, why don't you put that knife away? We'll pretend like we saw nothing. Oh no, the music's playing, he's gaining power! Go, go, Sage! Okay, folks, it's nothing personal. Nothing to do with you. I just remind him of his mother a little bit. Go to your room! He's still looking. Oh, he's still looking. Okay, don't pay attention to the scary man with the knife. Don't pay attention to the scary man with the knife. Pay attention to the scary house on the left. Ooh, Mother's house. This is the original house from Psycho. It looks great. Better than ever. Although, I gotta be honest, the resale value on Mother's house might be going down because the neighborhood next door, oh, it already has. Friends, welcome to my favorite practical set here on the Universal Backlot, scene from War of the Worlds, Steven Spielberg's epic sci-fi film starring Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning. That 747 you're seeing on your left-hand side, 100% real. Brought in from the Mojave Desert from a scrapyard, bought by Paramount Productions, and transported here on a flatbed truck, dissected into the pieces you see here today. All in all, it took production a couple of months to construct this behemoth of a set. They filmed on it for a few weeks, and all that was seen of it in the final film, a few short minutes. Check it out.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around the vision that Steven had.
When we first began to sit down to talk about the War of the Worlds, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good.
Now check this out. You see Tom Cruise? He's carrying Dakota Fanning in his arms, right? Now Dakota Fanning's character in the movie, obviously this is the first time she's seen all this destruction. But get this, Dakota Fanning, the actor, also one of the first times she's seen all this destruction. Naturally, of course, but actually, while other crew members and cast members were allowed to see the construction of this set, Spielberg specifically kept Dakota Fanning away. Why? Because he wanted the first time she saw it to be captured on camera. He knew that wide-eyed amazement could easily be translated for wide-eyed terror, and that's exactly what he did. Honestly, throughout his career, Spielberg has had quite an amazing talent of bringing out the best in his child actors, going all the way back to E.T. In fact, Drew Barrymore in E.T., he noticed that Drew, she was interacting with the E.T. puppet in between takes as if it was a real person. She was really bonding with it. So much so that he went and those are some real tears. In fact, just before they filmed that scene, Spielberg sat the kids down and was like, hey, you know this best friend y'all been hanging out with for the last couple months? Well, he's going away. And not just going away forever. Action, let's go. And that's exactly how they captured the scene. Another great example of Spielberg kind of tricking his actors into giving the best performance, The Goonies. If any of you remember that one, he executive produced that movie. But again, one of the situations where the kids did not see that grand pirate ship set by the end of the film until they saw it on camera. In fact, some of them shouted out such explicit words that they had to go for a second take, right? But still, some of those reactions truly genuine. But from one alien disaster to another, we've been lucky enough to work with some of the best visionary directors out there, Spielberg being one of them, and of course Jordan Peele making a pretty big name for himself. Directed one of my favorite films of last year, Nope, and the sets from Nope, actual filmed sets, right over here. Jupiter's Claim from the film. But to tell you a little bit more about it, here's Academy Award-winning director and screenwriter, Mr. Jordan Peele.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Juke Park. Over there, look into the winking well and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Show. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Why? A little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. It's not looking so live anymore. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy of a gold rush frontier town lies a sinister secret. It is smack dab in the center of the beautiful hotspot.
What are you talking about there, Mr. Peele?
Welcome to the world.
But it's just a mood. Okay. Well, when they finished filming, they brought the sets back here to become a part of our studio tour, but it sounds like that's not all they brought back. If you want to know exactly what the heck that was, go check out Nope, available on the Amazon Prime streaming service. But for movies out now to movies yet to be filmed, got a special treat. We're going to be filming ourselves a little scene from Fast and Furious. Let me lay out the story. One of us on board is a member of the Witness Protection Program. Aw, yeah, that is a cut and a wrap on Fast and Furious Supercharged. Congratulations, y'all, making your Hollywood debuts. Fantastic acting throughout the entire tram, especially down here in the front. You were fantastic. You were like, ah, and then you were like, and then you were like, oh, right back at him. I loved it. I love it. Yeah, love the end. But hey, not only you did a great job, but please give it up for your incredible Fast and Furious stunt driver of the tour. Please give it up one more time for Sage. Now, we are making our way back to the unload station, and as we do so, I always like reminding my guests that Universal, we have an over 100-year history of producing over 8,000 feature films.